Welcome back to the Dragon Den, my loyal Dragonites. King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hiya Toys Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla. And so here we have the King of the Monsters posed and out of the packaging. Now unfortunately Godzilla doesn't come with any accessories, so with that out of the way, let's move on to his details. Godzilla is looking very impressive here in his second Hiya Toys debut, and I have to say, at first glances, it does look like that original figure we had a look at. However, upon closer look, you can tell that there's actually some new molding going on with this Godzilla, which I absolutely am all for. Just like with the original Godzilla, this version of Godzilla has a very screen-accurate head, which is absolutely welcomed. His beady little eyes and prominent brow look amazing here in this figure, and they did a really good job painting the inside of his mouth. And one thing you can already tell is that they did remove the peg, so this is now a pegless jaw. Another thing to note is that they did change the number of pieces in Godzilla's neck. The original Godzilla had 2 pieces in the neck and a longer head, where this version has a shorter head, but it has 3 pieces for his neck. It still has amazing detail where you can see his gills, and all those scales look amazing, and the paint job is fantastic. Add to it, because there are 3 pieces to the neck, it does a much better job at hiding gaps. The sculpt work on Godzilla's torso also looks much sharper, like they went back and redid the sharpness of this entire body mold. And you can see in the recesses of his chest that they did go back and add a little wash to this body, which does bring out all those fantastic details. Just like with the torso, the arms are re-sculpted so that all that detail is much sharper, and the paint job just highlights all those fantastic details. Now I can't be 100% sure on this, but it does feel like they did reuse the hands for this Godzilla. The legs once again are retooled to bring out all that fantastic detail, and again we get that very nice wash throughout his legs. All those scales and ridges are brought out fantastically here with this figure, and I absolutely love the paint job he did here. And one thing I absolutely love is the consistency in the wash that they put on Godzilla. It's very consistent throughout all the figure. Finally, we take a look at his dorsal plates, which are fantastic, and Hiya went back and absolutely nailed it with these dorsal spines. They are retooled to be a little bit sharper, and they have much clearer detail, and once again that wash is present throughout the entire figure. And of course all that detail does come down to his impressive tail. His tail continues that impressive detail with the sharper spines, which look amazing, and the paint job is very good here on his tail. And I absolutely love the fact that the dorsal plates go all the way to the tip of his tail. So overall, despite being Godzilla, Hiya Toys went back and nailed the sculpt work here, and everything works so much better on this second figure. So with his amazing details out of the way, let's get Godzilla compared to our usual suspects. Here we have Godzilla posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman. Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. The Lightning Collection White Ranger and the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, we have the King of the Monsters Godzilla posed next to the GVK Godzilla. I love the fact that this Godzilla will scale to the rest of your Hiya collection, especially if you've been collecting the Monsterverse figures. So with his comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at Godzilla's articulation. Godzilla has a ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. His jaw is on a hinge. Arms go out to the side slightly and do a full 360. Swivel hinge at his elbows. Ball joints in his wrists. Double ball joint in his mid-torso. Legs are on ball joints which do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have slight rotation. A slight double bend in his knee. Ball joints in his ankles. And finally we have a multi-segmented tail which is full of segmented ball joints. So pretty much your standard Godzilla articulation, which is pretty good, especially because the Monsterverse Godzilla is kinda chunky. So with everything said and done about the King of the Monsters Godzilla, let's get him posed for my final thoughts. Hiya Toys has done some great work with the Monsterverse line, and I absolutely love the updates that came with this Godzilla. The fact that they reworked his head so that it does eliminate a lot of gaps shows that they did take some time to re-engineer Godzilla. Add to it the sharper details throughout the figure is showing me that Hiya Toys is actually reworking the sculpts as needed. Add to it the fact we get a really good paint job with this Godzilla is very impressive, and for the price point you really can't complain too much about it. The joints on Godzilla are nice and stiff, and I have no issues with any joints. Nothing feels like it's breaking and nothing feels too loose. If you missed out on that original Godzilla figure, fear not, for this is probably a more superior version. The only thing that would have made this Godzilla much better is if he came with accessories, but overall I still applaud Hiya Toys for what they did here. And the amount of detail, paint, and articulation you get all for $50 is well worth it here for a Godzilla. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out all my other action figure and Godzilla videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my fellow Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm KingofDragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.